Good evening. My name is Count Dracula, and I bid you welcome. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sanctum. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of the other famous monsters, Count Dracula. And therefore, we are entitling this episode, Day of the Draculas. Okay, I know, Dracula doesn't come out in the daylight. It's kind of ridiculous, but it's the best I could come up with. It sounded kind of cool. Anyhow, speaking of the best, we're starting with the best here. AHI. Now, I don't have as many AHI Draculas as I do Frankensteins. I am a fan of Dracula, but, you know, Frankenstein's my number one favorite. However, Dracula's cool, and I like Dracula. And I've been able to acquire 3 AHI Draculas, as you see here. So, let's take a look at them. Now, as with the Frankensteins, the Draculas come in variants as well, and even in the same variants you get different styles. Interesting thing about Dracula is the Dracula toys, most of them don't look like Bela Lugosi. That's because Bela Lugosi's son, Bela Lugosi Jr., actually sued Universal and other companies for rights to use his father's image. So a lot of Dracula toys you see are just sort of generic vampires or Dracula-looking type things. They don't appear to, like, as you can tell from these, you know, it's very different from the Frankenstein. The Frankensteins looked a lot like Karloff. These do not look like Bela Lugosi. They have a passing resemblance, but they're more just like your standard slick-haired vampire. So let's take a look at this guy here. Now, this is what we call the flesh body variant. He's got the side hands flesh colored. He's got a nice pair of loafers here, shoes. And they're in pretty good condition. Not bad at all. His clothes are in good condition. He's got a nice bright cummerbund there. He's still got his bow tie. The collar on his cape is still standing up, still pretty stiff. His cape is still in really good condition as well, too. This is probably one of the best AHI Draculas I have in my collection. And he has soft head, but it's kind of an elongated head. And the cool thing about these is they always had, like, you've got 4 fangs there, and he's got, you know, like just blood gushing out of his mouth, like he just took a bite out of somebody. And look at those eyes, man, those eyebrows, that paint job. It's incredible. Again, these things are so cool. They really speak 70s. I dig that. That's a cool looking vampire. So this is the flesh body variant. And let's see what one we got next. Okay, we'll set this guy aside and bring this fella up here. Now, this guy, similar outfit. You can see his bow tie's in rough shape. His cape's, he's got the collar down, but it's still pretty good. Not bad shape. This is the colored body variant. With the Frankensteins, they had an all green body. This guy here has got, it's a red body. I guess he's engorged with blood. He's got the sideway facing palms. See the arms go up like that. A fairly decent cummerbund. The tux is in pretty good condition. He's not in bad condition. He's got nice shoes. Look at the detail on those shoes. Pretty cool for a little rack figure. Hong Kong written on his shoe. And again, you can see he's the red colored body variant. A little bit different head sculpture. He's got more of a squat head. The flesh body variant, he had like an elongated head. This head's a little bit smaller. It's kind of cool to compare them side by side. Even the hairdo is a little bit different on these. This guy, I'd say, is more Lugosi-like. This guy's a little bit Christopher Lee. You guys all know that song, don't you? I'm a little bit Lugosi. I'm a little bit Christopher Lee. No, nobody knows that song. Doesn't exist. I made it up. But yeah, if you take a good look at that, he does appear very Lugosi-like. One of the interesting things, and someone mentioned this in the comments last week on the Frankenstein episode, is he said a lot of the AHI sculpts appear to be like the Aurora monsters. And if you read Toy Ventures, the magazine I recommended last week, and I'm recommending again this week, he points out that exact point, that they definitely took the sculpt from the Aurora monster kits. And if you look at some of the Aurora monster kits, you can see Dracula's head looks exactly the same as this guy's head does here. As a matter of fact, let me see if we can do a comparison. Okay, so I dragged out one of my Aurora kits. This is the 70s version. It's the glow-in-the-dark head and hands. It's semi-painted, but anyhow, it's a little bit harder to tell because the head itself is the glow-in-the-dark version. Someone kind of painted those black dots on the eyes, but you can see the mouth is open the same. Similar ears, similar nose. I mean, it's like they really took the sculpt from this. I like to say they didn't steal it. They're paying homage to it, which is funny because these were both out around the same time. I'm surprised Aurora never sued. You can see how similar they look. I mean, look at that. These guys are brothers of the night. See if we can see how he looks against the other guy, the Christopher Lee type guy. Oh yeah. I mean, you can see the comparison there. Look at that. It's like I'm looking in a mirror, except my face glows in the dark. I know. Please don't comment that vampires can't see themselves in mirrors. These are toys. I'm a middle-aged man in the middle of the night making a video. But anyhow, so we've got a colored body variant and a flesh-bodied variant, and we made the comparison to the Count Dracula glow-in-the-dark Aurora model kit. Once again, I found that information out through Toy Ventures magazine, a magazine I highly recommend you buy if you especially want to know about AHI, because their latest issue is an all AHI issue. Let's take a look at our third variant. Okay, this is the third variant I've got here, and got some questions for some of you AHI experts out there. Clearly to me, this is the hard head variant. He's got a very dense plastic hard head, yet he has these crudely painted hands, as you can see there. And I don't know if the hard head variants have the painted hands or not. I dig it. It's kind of cool. Looks like he ripped someone apart to feast on them. He's got a pretty decent shirt here, a little worse for wear. He's missing some of his bow tie. His cummerbund's in good condition. He's got the Hong Kong loafers. Oh, this one's getting a little split or tear. And the tux is okay. He's got some tattered sleeves. But overall not too bad. Oh, got a little hole in his cape as if someone took a shot at him there. The thing that I noticed about this particular variant that I really like is the detail is much better on the face and head. I mean, they really put a lot of work into this. If you look here, you can see like the lines on the forehead, the wide open mouth with the blood, the wrinkles on his face, the puffed up cheeks, everything. Very cool. And in a way, I know a lot of people say that these don't look like Lugosi, but this one to me kind of looks like an older Lugosi. And I really dig it. He's the third one in my collection. I only have 3 AHI Draculas. Like I said, I really dig Frankenstein more, so I don't buy a lot of the Draculas. But doing this now, I'm kind of into them again, and I think I'm going to pick up more along the way. I mean, they are very cool, and that's kind of what's so funky about the AHI line is it just has this really cool monster kid appeal to it. Each figure is so cool, and for my money, honestly, this is one of the coolest Draculas. AHI had the coolest Frankenstein. They got the coolest Dracula. Now, we've got the Mego Dracula. Oh, this guy's pretty cool as well. This is from the Mad Monsters series, and they refer to this guy as the Dreadful Dracula. Now, what's cool about him is he's got this cool little leotard / suit. It's a one-piece thing, but it's really cool. It gives him almost kind of a cartoonish look. He looks like a Dracula. He looks like he's something straight out of a comic book. And I mean, look at that. Very vibrant colors. This guy's very minty. He's one of my better Mego Draculas I have in my collection. Now he's got that cool vampiric face, you know, that like angular face. They give him a little sharp chin there. They give him long ears. They give him those cool sideburns and the nice widow's peak. And he's got that cool arched eyebrow. And of course, like most monsters from the 70s, he's got glow-in-the-dark features. So he's got glow-in-the-dark eyes, and he's got glow-in-the-dark hands. Very awesome. He's a T1 because of the metal rivets there. And he's very cool. He's got a nice satiny cape, a little bit shorter cape than the other one. And he's got these shoes are very cool. I mean, the detail Mego put into these for this figure is pretty cool. I mean, he's got these great, almost like wingtip type loafers. Really good condition. Like I said, this guy's very minty. A very good condition Dracula. And I dig him because he's got, like I said, that cartoony look. As a matter of fact, I always thought if somebody was to make a custom figure of I, Vampire, who was this character that appeared in the House of Mystery DC Comics, this guy would be perfect. He would make a very cool Andrew Bennett I, Vampire. I'd probably have to buy one of the repro ones to make an I, Vampire out of him. Perhaps somebody already has, but I think this guy would make a cool I, Vampire. Very cool. The Dreadful Dracula. In case anyone's interested, here's a boxed version of the Dreadful Dracula. It's a window box. That's an authentic Dreadful Dracula, but this is a repro box. Very cool though. Looks like the original ones. It's got the little eyes and hands glow in the dark. Official world's greatest superheroes. The Dreadful Dracula. He's in good condition, nice and minty. He looks a little bit like a Groovy Ghoulies style vampire there, I think. Kind of cool. And on the side, you've got the other monsters available. Collect them all. The Mummy. The Wolfman. Really cool art on these. Like, that you just commissioned. And there was something about, like, the packaging of 70s and 80s toys. Like, every aspect of the box was busy. It had something on it. It was designed so well. And it was really fun to look at. And just, you know, you made you want to keep the box in a way. I mean, even the back, they've got this collectible card. Very cool picture of Dracula doing that sort of hypnotic, you know, thing with the red eyes and his hand out. Kind of looks like always reminded me of a sinister Paul Lynde. Recommended for children over 3 years old. Oh, so's Paul Lynde. Very cool. That's a boxed one. And I have another repro box here, which is not a card box. This one actually has the Mad Monster series. And Dreadful Dracula. It's the full art. Eyes and hands glow in the dark. 8-inch action figure, Mego Core 1973. Maybe this isn't a repro box. No, this is a repro box. It's got to be. You know, I buy some stuff and I forget what I actually have. Yeah. Definitely a repro box. Designed by thetoyroom.com. Collect all the Mad Monster cards. But very cool. Again, look at the packaging. So cool. Awesome. Now, Mego, just like AHI, also had variants in their monster collection. One of the variants for Dracula was a red-haired Dracula. Now, this is unfortunately not an original. It is a repro. It looks very much like the red-haired Dracula that you would see, but it did exist as a figure. He had red hair and red eyebrows. Gives him kind of a creepier look. This was put out by Classic TV Toys, and they remade a lot of the Mad Monsters. There was also a blue-haired Frankenstein, which I do not have. I don't even have the repro of that. But they're sought after by collectors. They do pop up from time to time. I'd love to get one, but since I can't have a real one, I will settle for the repro one. Now we have the pride and joy of my Dracula collection, the Lincoln Dracula. Lincoln International was a company along the lines of AHI that made rack toys. And they had their own line of monsters, Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy, the Wolfman. They had a pretty cool Phantom of the Opera and Quasimodo as well. These characters are highly sought after by collectors because they're very hard to get for some reason, and they're really expensive on the secondary market. I really dig them. They've got this sort of goofy charm. This is the only Lincoln that I have in my collection. I bought this off of Clay Sayre a few years back, and he's a pretty cool Dracula. I mean, you can kind of notice what I mean by the goofy charm there. He's got this cool blue eyeshadow under his eyes. He's got this open mouth like he's laughing or grinning, and he's got this sort of funky cool hairstyle here. Cool profile there of him with the eyes and the mouth open like he's ready to bite someone's neck. Yeah, very cool character. I'm really looking for a Lincoln Frankenstein. If anyone can help me out with that, I do need to add a Lincoln Frankenstein to my collection. So if anybody has one or has a lead on one, is willing to sell it, let me know in the comments. But this is my Dracula. He's the only Lincoln I've got in my collection. Let's take a look at him. Now he's got these tattered sleeves. The cool thing about the Lincolns was they had these cool hands. His hands have gotten a little beat up here. Look at that. Like he's got like hairy palms. Oh, Dracula. What have you been up to? But very cool. The hands are very cool. You can see sort of how he's put together here. He's got the Hong Kong loafers as well. Cool little tuxedo. His shirt's seen better days, and his cape has definitely seen better days. It's barely hanging on here by a thread. But still some nice red on his collar. The cape's it's all intact and not in awful condition. And he's still got pretty tight joints, still holds together really well. Very cool looking piece. I really dig them. I'd love to get a full Lincoln run, but they're hard to come by, like I said. I at least got to get myself a Frankenstein for my Frankenstein collection. So if anybody has a lead, please, again, mention it in the comments. But this is Lincoln Dracula, and he's very cool. I really dig him. He belongs in there with the rest of the Drac pack. Now this piece is a pretty cool custom piece. And when you're talking custom, Distinctive Dummies is top of the list for custom figures. This is a 12-inch Distinctive Dummies John Carradine Dracula from House of Dracula. This is the black and white version. As you can see, I went with that because that would be how he appeared in the film. John Carradine at the time also, he played Dracula in House of Frankenstein and House of Dracula. And at the time, he was the closest looking Dracula to the Dracula that was in the book. He had the top hat and the mustache, and he played him pretty cool, actually. He was a pretty good Dracula. This comes with, like, Dracula's ring. And there's 2 hand versions, I believe. I've got them in the box, but really nice clothes, really cool cape. Check it out there. Great sculpt. I mean, it looks just like John Carradine. Very, very cool. And he's got very cool little boots on. Really well done. Nice outfit. He's a really cool Dracula. I love having him in my collection. He's one that I display. I really dig him. And there you go. That is the John Carradine Dracula from House of Dracula. For some reason, I don't know why, Universal did not invite Bela Lugosi to come back and play Dracula in House of Dracula or House of Frankenstein. He only returned to reprise the role in Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. But John Carradine did a good job, and they sort of changed him up again to make him look like the Dracula from the book. Very cool. Back to the display case you go, sir. Okay, so that's some of my vintage Dracula collection. Now, as most of you know, Mego has made a comeback, and they've started making figures again. And one of the things they got this time around was an officially licensed Lugosi Dracula. This is based not off of the Universal Pictures Dracula. I believe it is off of the stage play, which has a different copyright. Although they're using, that is the Dracula from the Universal Pictures movie right there. But as you can see, he seems to be more, that one is an older Dracula. He's sort of got like a heavier face than the young Dracula did. He's got this stage makeup under his eyes. He's got lipstick on. A more intricate outfit, like he's not wearing, sometimes they have that typical Dracula medallion around him. He doesn't have a bow tie. He's got this great gray cape. And, there's the picture, Bela Lugosi, Dracula. Officially licensed, authentic retro packaging. Pose figure in any action position. Original Mego toy line, limited edition. These are very cool. And I've been getting them, especially the monster ones. I'm not buying them all, but I bought the monsters and the Treks because I got to have them. I do buy modern stuff if it looks cool, especially Universal monster stuff or monster toys. I will buy modern versions of it. And I mean, come on, it's Mego, so can you blame me? Here's the unboxed, uncarded Lugosi Dracula. He's got cool hands. He does not glow in the dark, unfortunately, but really good sculpt on that. And it's nice to have one that looks like Lugosi. That's why I had to get him. The cape, too, it's really nice. It's kind of like a velvety material. Really good clothes. Cool. Funky shoes. Again, looks like the same shoes from the Dreadful Dracula. That's pretty cool. All right. That's our Lugosi Dracula. Modern. Let's see who else we've got coming up in the modern line. Okay, so Mego did the officially licensed Lugosi Dracula. Now they also did, I guess going along the lines of the Mad Monsters, a generic monster. And this one is just called Dracula. Cool card art there. With him, drinking blood from a wine goblet. And this Dracula's very cool. He's got that he's got no shirt on, like ruffled, cool purple cape. And now this one reminds me, in a way, of Marvel's Tomb of Dracula, because he's got that goatee. And this is the way Dracula was in the book. He's got that funky Look at that crazy haircut. But anyhow, I think this guy's kind of cool. Like he's more trying to be sort of like the sexy Dracula, the romance novel cover Dracula. A lot of people didn't think this was too cool when it came out. I really dig it. I think it's cool to see generic monsters too. And this one, in a way, it reminds me a lot of kind of like the Tomb of Dracula, which I wish they would do one of those, the Marvel Comics, Tomb of Dracula based off the Gene Colan art. This is probably as close as we'll get for right now, but I really do love this one. And look at that on the back. This Dracula. That's awful. Terrifying. Like Charlie from Accounting. Put these fangs in, Charlie. Put a little jelly donut on the side of your mouth. All right. Take a picture, Marty. Beautiful. Toss it on the card art. Now this piece is Modern Mego, and this is awesome. This is their Nosferatu. And this thing, now it looks like they're doing the Nosferatu. That almost looks like the Klaus Kinski Nosferatu. It might not be. I could be wrong, but this figure is great. I love this figure. Very cool. Check out the coat, the hands, the head sculpt, the eyes, the eyebrows. This is a carded one. I've got one off the card, of course. Now I'm in the habit that I got to buy two of these things because I want to keep one in the box and display one. These were relatively cheap, so I don't mind, but check that out. Look at the Nosferatu fangs. Look at those eyes. I mean, it's like they're really looking through you. Very cool. Cool hands. Really cool clothing. They really did. They did chintz on making these. In some ways, they're better than some of the original Megos. They're really well done. They're really done for collectors. It's cool to see some of these figures in the Mego style. He's honestly one of my favorites. I really love this Nosferatu. Let's see what we got next. All right, Super 7 reaction. It came out. I love it because I bought this for the card art alone. It's very funky looking. They did a little new line of glow-in-the-dark monsters. He's in red, which is kind of ridiculous, but it's so garish and monstery looking that I had to have it. I really like it. It's a cool looking Dracula for a 3 3/4 inch. It glows in the dark. Unpunched card. And they have a Frankenstein, a creature, a bride, and of course Drac. And they say Bela Lugosi as Dracula, so they must have got the rights. They have Dracula, yep, there it is, Dracula, Universal City Studios, and Bela Lugosi's Dracula. So they have both Universal and Lugosi rights. Super 7's put out some cool stuff. I dig that. Just wanted to show it to you real quick. I know it's not vintage, and I know it's not 8-inch, but it's a cool piece. And for a monster kid like me, I love stuff like this. All right, well, if you're going to have Mego, you've got vintage, you've got old Mego, you've got new Mego, we've got Lincoln, we've got AHI. Now, here's a more recent acquisition. This is a custom piece. I had a couple of custom AHI Frankensteins last week. This is a custom Blacula. Now, I really love the Blacula movies. Scream, and Blacula. And this is just a real, look at that. I mean, a real nice head sculpt. I think they took some of the clothes from the new Mego Dracula, but look at that head sculpt of William Marshall as Blacula. Very, very cool. This was made by Brent's Toys. Give him a shout out there. I love this piece. It's awesome. I am so excited. He also sent it along with a custom box, as if I was buying a Blacula Mego. His bite was out of sight. Blacula 8-inch action figure. By Brent's Dolls. I'm sorry, I said Brent's Toys. Brent's Dolls is who made this. you've got Bloodsucker, deadly than Dracula. Warm young bodies will feed his hunger, and hot fresh blood his awful thirst. I highly recommend you check out the film Blacula. I highly recommend you check out Brent's Dolls. He has some cool custom pieces. This is the first one that I've ever ordered from him, and I have to say I'm thrilled with it. I really love it. It's an awesome piece. There was a Blacula made by Distinctive Dummies as well as Amok Time Toys, and they're really hard to get and they're really expensive. So honestly, this is the next best thing. I mean, they're custom anyways, so it's a really well put together piece, and it, I mean, come on, it looks just like William Marshall and Blacula. Well, if you're gonna have Blacula, you gotta have Dracula. This is the Presidential Monsters Collection. These were all around when they first came out, and I never really bought them. Now, I did buy this one because, obviously, I'm a Blacula fan, so I had to get Dracula. And it's supposed to be Barack Obama as Dracula. You can see some of the ones they have on the back here. Lincolnstein, I wish I got that one. Wolf Bill, the Rami, the Ronmi, Zombush, Monster from the Watergate Lagoon, Phantom of the White House. Wish I had gotten those. They're quite pricey too, and they're really hard to get. But very cool, Dracula. Now, if you gotta have vampires, you gotta have somebody to hunt the vampires. That's why you need a cold check. Now, I mentioned Distinctive Dummies earlier. This is a Distinctive Dummies cold check, the Night Stalker. Very cool piece. This is one of the prize pieces of my custom collection. Very hard piece to get a hold of, but I was able to get a hold of a loose one, not on the card. They do a great job, Distinctive Dummies. They do a lot of stuff. He looks like Darren McGavin. I mean, he's even got the bloodshot eyes, the nice pinstripe seersucker suit, the tape recorder, the camera, and of course, the boater's hat. This is awesome. I really love this piece. He's out hunting his vampires. I mean, look at that. There's a thing of beauty right there. A nice vampire Dracula collection on a cool fall night to tuck into bed. I hope you guys enjoyed looking at this. I really enjoy showing you this stuff. And once again, if I can recommend Toy Ventures magazine, it's great. Brian's a great guy. The other people that contribute to this are great as well. But he really, this is a labor of love for him, and I hope a lot of people buy it. It's a great magazine. It really will give you more information. It's where I got a lot of the information to do these episodes. So I highly recommend you guys go out and buy Toy Ventures magazine. It's a tough world out there, and I appreciate that you guys take the time to look at these, and I really love making them and sharing this stuff with you. So remember, until next time, less blah, 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 more yeah. Keep on keeping on. Hey, do you guys remember that great old tune called REMCO Frankenstein? REMCO Frankenstein, REMCO Frankenstein, REMCO Frankenstein, REMCO Frankenstein. His monster crush action is coming for you. He glows at night so you can see him too. REMCO Frankenstein, REMCO Frankenstein.